أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة المتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي أما بعد. Beloved brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all our viewers and viewers who are not from our faith. May I say good evening, may God's guidance be with you. Yahdikumullah. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you again to another episode of our Masjid Al-Wali Chai Chat. And I would like to take this honor and pleasure of welcoming Sheikh Hatim, our very own Sheikh in our community, and also very well known throughout to be in this Masjid Wali Chai Chat, Sheikh. I'm so sorry you couldn't get your cup with you, but inshallah we could always do that later, inshallah. So Sheikh Hatim is no stranger to us here. Sheikh Hatim is born in Cairo, Egypt, currently lives in the United States of America, married and has 4 children. He has a PhD in comparative fiqh and a master's degree in Islamic law, in Sharia, board certification in pediatrics by the American Board of Pediatrics. Also the dean at Mishka University. I'm doing just an abbreviated format of his bio because it's very, very huge, and he doesn't need much introduction to this community and to our viewers at large. He's very well known, and also a member of the Permanent Fatwa Committee of Assembly of Muslim Jurists in America, AMJA. And I know for a fact that he is now part of contributing towards the Renewing Islamic Discourse with Yaqeen Institute. Sheikh Hatim, I am very honored to have you on this program, very humble. You being my teacher and my mentor, I am very, very happy to have you to discuss really the topic on this Chai Chat tonight, as I have discussed with you that this program is really catering for the next generation, helping them into this society that we are all living in, because most of our parents are migrant parents, and I want you to share with us the experience, because there are a number of things that we would like to talk today. What are some of the things we can do? And one of it, I want you to touch on time management, how young people can manage their time.
All praise be to Allah, and the peace and blessings be on His final messenger. Issue of time management, everybody will have to figure out how they will do this, because people are different. But there are certain principles that we have to all uphold. One of them is that we should not be wasting time, and basically to spend some time to recreate, to rejuvenate. That's not a waste of time, and that has to be understood. It is a fact that we all need this as human beings. We all need this. We cannot expect of ourselves that we will be always doing like very serious tasks all the time. The Prophet ﷺ said to Hanzala, one of his companions, sa'a wa sa'a, 1 hour for this and 1 hour for that, 1 hour for leisure and 1 hour for work. But also, when we do this, we are doing this basically to recreate, to rejuvenate, so that we can get back to serious business. So we can get back to actualizing our potential in this life, to basically improving our condition, the condition of our families and societies, and so on and so forth, and to be contributing to basically humanity, to our community, and to humanity at large. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud used to say, I hate to say, I dislike sort of superfluous men. And they asked him, and who are those? He said, those who waste time not pursuing hasana, like a good deed for their hereafter, or a living for for their livelihood in this dunya. So these are people who are just wasting their lives, and a wise person should not be seen. They used to say a wise person should not be seen except working for dirham لمعاشه أو حسنة لمعاده. Dirham is like a type of currency for their livelihood, or a good deed to earn thawab, good deeds for their hereafter. So that is a very important principle. And the other thing that I wanted to say is we have to be methodical about it. Like we have to have plans. We have to have weekly plans and daily plans and monthly plans and sort of yearly plans, and a plan for the next 5 years. Unless we have plans, unless we we also have metrics to measure our success, and unless we go back and figure out, have we succeeded? Do we need to tweak our plans so that they work next year, since they have not worked last year? Do we need to be a little bit more realistic? Should I consult someone, who have gone through this? If I am a medical student, for instance, should I consult someone who went through medical school? Or if I'm studying whatever, English or literature, should I consult someone? Because my plans have not seemed to work before, and I want to make sure that next year is going to be different. So we have to be methodical about it. And also, we have to also always think of two factors. Whenever we make plans, we have many tasks, but we have to give numbers to those tasks, and we have to figure out two things: the importance and the urgency, and multiply them and figure out how we will give in terms of prioritize the different tasks along those lines, their importance and their urgency. And certainly urgency takes a larger sort of like a bigger number than importance, because you could have like an important task but it is not due until next month, and there is a less important task but it is due tomorrow, so you'll prioritize what's due tomorrow. So, don't waste time. Um, Keeping in mind that recreation is not a waste of time, as long as it is recreation to rejuvenate and to go back and do your serious work. And be methodical about it, and consult people who have done the same thing and who have basically went through the same trajectory that you're going through at this time.
Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. So basically, as you have pointed out, that this recreation rejuvenates them to think deeper and get much more structured into the system. And as we mentioned earlier from the outset of the program, that our target audience basically are young people. For this particular program is the young people, targeting them and helping them through the process of school, whether it is high school or college or whatever the case is. And we have been emphasizing, Sheikh, in this program for the past couple of weeks as regards to people can develop simultaneously with your academics and your or your career, and also your Islamic understanding and Islamic ilm, and able to do the process. You don't have to give up one for the other. I want you to touch a bit on that.
Of course, like, the thing is, we all need, it depends on what you want, and, it depends on your potential, and it depends on your honesty in assessing your strengths and weaknesses and your capacities. So if you have the capacity to straddle two different fields and to be like a Muslim scholar, and at the same time to excel in your own profession or your own career, that would be great. If you think that it is better to concentrate on one, because we need some of those, but we also need those who are completely dedicated to this or completely dedicated to that. And there is no one prescription for all people. People will have to figure out their dispositions, their strengths and weaknesses, their capacities, their interests and passions. All of this will have to go into the equation. But at the end of the day, whatever we decide, there is a certain amount of Islamic knowledge that we need to acquire, that we must acquire. And the more the better, for sure. But there is a certain amount that we all must acquire. And some people are more sort of ambitious than others. But many people are able to be very well educated without leaving their profession. Like, in the introduction, you said that I'm the dean of Mishka University. Most of our students at Mishka University are full-time students in other colleges, or they are employed. The physicians, we had astrophysicists, we have astrophysicists and physicians, and in different fields, and businessmen and sort of cooks in restaurants, like a lot of things. So the thing is, we have plenty of time if we know how to organize our work schedule and our time in general. And inshallah, we would be able to do much. But first, we need to be honest with ourselves, and we need to figure out our capacities and our passions. Yeah.
Jazakumullah khair. Sheikh Hatim, there is one thing that also I want us to talk about. As I have said earlier, we are raising our kids here in an American experience. A lot of our parents are migrants, people who came from other parts of the world. And there seems to be some sort of what you call challenges raising our kids sometimes here to understand the culture and how we can able to cope with it. What are some of the common things that you think that parents sometimes overlook as regards to raising their kids in an American experience?
Well, there are a lot of things that if they have not gone through the same experiences, then they will be unaware of many things that happen at school, many challenges that their kids encounter. These challenges could be due to the environment at school. It could be challenges to their faith. It could be challenges to their identity. It could be challenges to other things. And the parents who have not grown up in the same environment may not be aware of those challenges, and the way for them to expand their awareness and to get to know what their kids are going through, I guess, is to learn from their kids, is to ask them, about their challenges and what they are going through, and to try to provide support. If they're not going to be able to provide specific guidance because they have not gone through the same experience, then they may be able to also look for others who can provide that guidance. But the one thing that they have to provide to their kids themselves is support through the process, and oftentimes they'll have to also assist them finding guidance elsewhere if they themselves are unable to provide that guidance. And many times, if you have not gone through the same experiences, you may not be able to provide proper guidance.
MashaAllah. Jazakumullah khair, Sheikhna, for that. The other thing I want us to take a look at as a community, I think we have to look as a community, what can we do differently, really to attract the young people into the community, something that is an attraction to them, making the masjid a place where they gravitate. And so I think this is the challenge not only to one community, but this is a challenge to all of the communities, that how and what we can do differently, really, in a physical condition, whether we have them drinking coffee and talking on a couch, about Islam in a way. What are some of your thoughts of in this whole new way of getting our kids to gravitate around the masjid?
Of course, that's the $1 million question, and there is the physical space, and then there is sort of the social emotional space that we need to provide. The physical space of the masjid is important. It's not, but certainly it is not the most important aspect. It is an important aspect, but not the most important aspect. We do want to make sure that our masajid have the proper physical space to attract people of different backgrounds, age groups, and so on, and to be welcoming. So a coffee corner, like to have seats and couches and maybe reading rooms and things like that. Playroom and other facilities that will basically augment the physical space. I'm not quite sure if you are still here, but I would presume that you are. The other thing that we need to do is, in terms of the social and the emotional support, many times we don't know what is exactly that our kids want or the youth. And many times people who are in their 40s, they think that, we were just youth yesterday or yesteryear. But that's not always true. So the thing that we can do is to empower the youth. They know, like if we have youth in our masajid, we need to support them. We need to basically, along this support, empower them to attract youth themselves. Because no matter how much you think that you are youthful enough, if you're not in the same age group, things change and people's thinking changes all the time. So I think the best thing that we can do is just support and empower and allow the youth to design programs for the youth. And it does not mean that we just disappear. We'll still be there to provide guidance and to provide support, but we will not be calling the shots all the time. We will allow the youth to figure out how they will do this work. And as I said, we would have helped create the physical space that is needed and the sort of the support system that is needed, and then let them figure out how they will attract each other to the masjid.
Jazakumullah khair. So this, as you said, is a $1 million question. There are so many things that we can possibly talk about that in terms of the physical space, the physical arrangement, getting them there, and stuff like that. In terms of the process of learning and acquiring education and fellowship, because this is one of the things that is very important for them to for the goodness of the individuals and their association with other people of their caliber and their peer, their in terms of brotherhood and sisterhood. This is so critical that I want you to touch also in terms of them and that relationship that should exist among them within the community.
I didn't hear the final part. So what's the question?
The point is that we were talking about the physical space and getting them to the community and the importance of this brotherhood, this fellowship, for them to be able to, to rub shoulders with each other and able to learn and realize the expectation of each other and be support for one another, because this is so key an element in this society that we are in.
Oh yes, and that's why I said that the physical space is important because it will allow for them to to meet at the masjid, whether you have like days for the sisters, days for the brothers. Young people are interested in sports. Young people are interested in sort of that companionship and friendship and so on. And if you provide the physical space and then support them and empower them to design their own programs, they will be able to figure out what. And certainly that does not mean that all of the programs will be um, uh, just pure entertainment. Kids do like serious stuff. So sometimes we think that all we need to do is just like to have a basketball hoop and they will come. And that's not really true. Because no matter how good your physical space is, there will be better places and that are sort of better, that are better equipped. But the attraction in the masjid is the deen, is the knowledge, is and we want to mix it also with some entertainment, some room for socialization and so on and so forth. So this fusion, the mixing of the two, makes it attractive for the youth. But like I said, the designing of the programs needs to be done by the youth under the sort of guidance, not control, but the guidance of the elders, particularly those who have the knowledge and experience in working with the youth. Um, and then you need to basically provide educational programs that suit different people of different age groups because uh, during these times the brain development and mental development and happens at a very fast rate. So you will have to have different programs for different people. Like 11 to 12 years of age is when you start to develop abstract operational thinking, and that between 6 to 12 is when you have concrete operational thinking, and 11 to 12 you start to have abstract operational thinking. And when you design a program, you need to keep this in mind. And then very quickly, people will become, once people are becoming 15 and 16, many of them will want some college level type education. And there are differences among them as well. So you need to have that. So you have to understand that the aspect, um, and just provide different opportunities for different people, because for some people one activity may work, and for others another activity. A variety, diversity, assortment of activities. Um, and some of the youth will be attracted to your basketball tournaments. Some of the youth will be attracted to just the socialization and coming in and having like a cup of coffee or whatever it is, or pizza or something, and like sitting down with their peers and chatting. Um, and they will, when it's the time for the salah, they will come to the salah. They may hear like a 10-minute talk, reminder, which would hopefully keep them in mind, to consider their presence and address them, stimulate their thinking, their thought process. um, so it requires a lot of work, but it requires the energy. You want to have that energy because they need a lot of work, and you also want to have that flexibility and selflessness, because many times when people put in a lot of effort into any project, they want to feel ownership of the project. Like if you are a youth director, you want to feel ownership of the project, and because you're putting a lot of effort into it, and that is problematic. because once you feel this ownership, it's okay to feel some degree of ownership, like responsibility towards the project. But once you feel too much ownership of the project, you will be inflexible. You will be the designer. You will be calling all the shots. You will not be empowering the youth, basically to reach out to their peers and to design their own programs, and that certainly would be counterproductive.
Inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Sheikh, one final thing before we kind of wrapping up. We have a couple of minutes more. I think we are in a better position now in this country where we have higher Islamic education. You, as the dean of Mishka University, we have different seminaries, we have different places where people can have higher education. You don't have to necessarily go out now, and so we have a lot of, as you said, a lot of students at Mishka University are people who are already in their career and they can still commit themselves to higher Islamic education. I just want you to touch on an encouraging word for our student, to pursue higher Islamic education, even if they have a career and they are settled in, that they can able to acquire something to that effect in this society.
Well, the Prophet ﷺ said the likeness of the guidance and the knowledge that Allah had sent me with is like a goodly rain that fell down on a land, and some of this land was fertile. It kept the water and produced a lot of vegetations. Some of the land was not fertile, but it kept the water for, people to drink and to give water to their animals and so on. And some of the land was like qi'an, just like completely barren land that's not fertile and that does not keep the water. So the water seeps through it. So it doesn't hold it and it doesn't benefit from it. The best type of land is the first type, is the land that keeps the water for its own benefit and for the benefit of others, produces vegetations. So it's like, the green land that would basically benefit from the water and benefit others with it. You choose for yourself if you like how much of the goodly rain you want to absorb and to make use of. Make use of also, because it's not just about like learning knowledge to show it off. It's learning knowledge to improve your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to be a better servant of His creation.
Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. Sheikhna, it was a real pleasure, honor having you and to share with our young people some of your thoughts. I was just waiting for this to come up. A lot of the young kids have tremendous respect for you, also being part of the community, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless you to give your input into Islam in this part of the world. Sheikh, a lot of our kids also feel that sometimes if you're a scholar or you're a sheikh, you don't have light moments, or you don't have you cannot smile, you cannot be having fun time or say things that makes you happy. So I want to ask you a rapid round of questions, Sheikhna. So number one, what is one of the things that you still have in your bucket list?
I'm unable to hear anything you said.
Are you hearing me now?
A little bit better.
Are you hearing me now, Sheikh? No sound?
Yeah.
You hearing me now?
I hear now, yeah.
Okay. I am asking you that one of the things that you have in your bucket list that you are not able to do yet. Do you have anything?
Okay, well, that I have not been able to do yet. Well, there are so many books that I would like to read. I have a very long list of books that I I wish I could read, but I haven't gotten around to them yet. And there are some places that I would like to visit that I have not visited yet. You know, these questions are usually hard for me to answer. Like because
Okay. The other one. Do you have a favorite food?
Favorite food?
Yes.
Well, I like eggplant, I guess. Like different, yeah.
Final question. What is the strangest thing that you have ever eaten?
Strangest thing that ever happened to me?
That you have eaten.
Strangest thing I have eaten.
Yeah.
You know, I was like in Mauritius. You know Mauritius?
Yes.
Yeah, they have like a fruit called lychee or something. It's like
yes, it's a fruit.
Looks like a strawberry, but but you have to peel it, and it's very sweet inside.
And it has a gel. It's a jelly thing inside. Like
yes.
And the outer is green.
It's red. It's reddish.
Red. Yes.
Like it is. You know, it could be green. Like, but you know, no. But when it's ripe, it's red. Reddish.
Mashallah. Yeah. Mashallah. Jazakumullah khair, Sheikhna. It's a pleasure having you, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, continue to bless you, and I'm so happy that you honor our invitation coming on, inshallah. And also, inshallah, for everyone, and Sheikh Hatim is here. We will be having on the last Friday of this month of February, we'll be having Sheikh Hatim answering some questions, inshallah. So this will be posted, and so you can ask your questions on live or you email. And the last Friday of this month, inshallah, we will be doing that. So Jazakumullah khair, Sheikh. May Allah bless you. May Allah protect you. To all our viewers, thank you for tuning in, and all our young people, may Allah bless you, that you have a very successful future, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.